So we'll call this meeting out of profit order 702. And we clearly have a quorum. I'll just take that.
Uh-oh, he's taking our names, we're in trouble now. And of course I didn't print out.
The person you say, just like, well, you look good.
Can't move my neck.
2 weeks in a row, I was like, I just
What
sounded.
did you do?
I pinched a nerve in my neck, I don't know what it is. It's much better. It was really
Go
good.
see my chiropractor, cutting piece one.
Is he?
He'll fix it. It's on
See
temple.
someone.
Oh, he's so good.
I took my
He
My neck
has
thing
his
off. I
office
couldn't
Well,
stand
you
there.
get to be pretty good at this.
Yeah, well, it's right in the chair because it spins.
Right.
Yeah.
Doing the reps, coming home, I
He's
couldn't.
more than
I had to actually, there's a priest.
Did we get, we didn't get a general sewer drive?
No.
I had John drive me.
Oh, I didn't,
That's crazy.
or I didn't open,
I
I
had
didn't see it.
That's what they
leftover stuff from plane crash.
Whiplash.
And
There was
he
series
really
of transfers.
Did you get anything? I finally went.
This is, and then you press the bed.
Yeah.
It's Friday.
Oh, it's Freeman.
Freeman's.
Yeah, me too, me too.
Alright, so,
Just
I've taken the roll, we've got a forum. Do we have minutes from last?
She didn't provide any, no.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah. Okay.
And what I'd like to do before we get into tonight's business is confirm our schedule going forward through town meeting. We're on for
Okay, so let's see.
the 3rd and 31st of March.
3rd and 31st, and
That's
31st
election
will
day.
be,
Third is election day.
Yeah.
Does that make any difference to you?
No?
Okay.
Anybody else?
I won't be here, but that's,
Yeah, as long as we get a quorum,
you'll have a call.
because that's our normal meeting.
Right,
Third, I will not be here. We were
Okay.
talking about
so
that.
that's
Yep.
two.
Is that Tuesday or Wednesday?
Tuesday.
Tuesday. Tuesday.
I'm here then.
Yes, sir.
I'll take the last one.
KB.
I said I was.
I don't know.
Well, his daughter's birthday is tonight, so he's off.
He should have put us before.
Yeah, right. Okay, so it looks like that.
and 31st is the joint meeting with the Board of
Right.
Selectmen.
What day is the 31st?
That is
a
also
Tuesday.
Oh, Tuesday.
Yeah.
Is there,
What's the
it's not
deadline
their normal meeting.
for the warrants done, or what's the?
The deadline, the latest it could be posted would be the 14th, but we plan to post on the 6th.
Of April?
Yeah. The 6th or the 13th at the latest, but I've already put out the deadlines already passed for special articles, so hopefully there won't be any last minute things.
Keep your fingers crossed.
So that's, the 13th is a drop dead.
Yeah, you gotta post 2 weeks before,
Yeah.
so that would be the latest,
So
but
is the 24th?
town meeting?
Yeah.
28th,
Oh, the 28th.
Tuesday the 28th.
Tuesday,
Okay.
24th is a Friday. It's okay. Okay, so and then in April, we're on the 7th.
Yep.
And we'll just.
The 28th.
Yeah, 28th, of course.
Oh, gee, we have to show up.
And I'll post, as I normally do, a meeting for, just before the town meeting, in case there's anything we have to clean up.
So potentially we're over April 28th also.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, but a lot of times it's,
15 minutes, 30 minutes before the town meeting.
but usually there's nothing for us to do.
But if we post it, then we can. If we don't post it,
We can't.
okay.
Technically, we shouldn't adjourn it until after the meeting.
I know it.
After the annual town, because you never know. I remember having to convene in the middle of the meeting once.
Okay, we've got your report coming up next. And we have some transfers.
We do, we have a bunch of reserve fund transfers. Since I sent that to you, we have a couple more. So we did well and made it all the way to February with really only one, which was the library salary and wages that you had enacted.
Yep.
The next one is the police expenses. I don't know if you had a chance to send that one around.
Was that the one with the?
That was
The
the
six-
container.
Yes,
A
we
couple
got
of-
that one.
Yeah, a couple of years ago, or maybe it was last year, I don't remember, they're all going together. We did, replace it, there was action taken at this town meeting, but when this one was returned, they, assessed us fees for damages. The chief did provide all the pictures.
He did that. But looking at how much we spent on that patrol
That
pump,
was a lot.
that should have been a lease to purchase.
Right.
It was before my time that we started that, I
No,
can
but
tell you
that
that.
was, I agree with you, Marshall,
I
that
do
was,
too.
we couldn't
How many
probably
years did we
bought
have?
that trailer.
One was
15, 14,
Well, it's like
15,
4 or 5
$24,000
years.
we paid
It
for.
was a lot of money. Really, it was $25,000 for the term.
More than the value of the piece of.
Exactly.
What was, the purpose was it was supposed to be,
It was a repeater.
about a
Climate control.
climate controlled
Yeah.
environment.
Yeah.
Didn't look like it was very climate controlled.
Thank you, I thought I was the only one being proud about that.
Hence the
In
damage.
all fairness, the repeaters work well, minus the climate control, if you will. It's the weather elements that beat the hell out of them.
Oh,
So the rain and
Yeah,
the snow, that's what takes its toll on, it takes its toll on carrying them, so the cost of the repeaters, taking them out of the weather, even if it's just, within no climate control, just simply out of weather, the dependability increases 100% and the life expectancy increases 100%.
On the
So,
repeater?
On the
Yeah.
repeater, so.
Okay, all right, okay. Just,
We started with not having one undercover, and we found that the cost of maintaining that thing and then getting somebody to work on it in the middle of the woods didn't make sense, so.
no,
Yeah, but it doesn't need any more than a good sized box.
thank you. But I thought that was me being not very mechanical.
No,
Actually, I don't think it's that, what's that big of a structure to start with, it's just,
No,
No, it was small, it looked like it
looks like an
was.
8x8 container.
yes, it was a little bigger actually,
Was it?
but still it was small. And
No, I agree.
what
24
is it,
grand, get a lot of free things over.
6,700 or something?
6,600 to repair it.
Yeah,
That's what they call
Long
it.
term.
yeah.
They're replacing.
So I guess
The new one, they.
my question
You get no choice.
would be, who negotiated the $6,600 rather than saying, okay, let's have the insurance adjuster take a look at it and just condemn it and we'll own it for $6,600.
I think there was some talk with the chief about the town insurance and looking at whether or not they would take and cover it. I don't know what the answer to that was.
I don't know if he reached out to him, he was advised to, but the age alone would, did that thing, I can't imagine they even entertain.
Right.
No,
Well, I
I
agree
think
with
they would, I would think that the insurance may have kicked in simply, but I'm not sure the deductible for towns, it may be a wash.
2,500 would be better.
Okay.
Not a wash.
Well, when you get legal involved with this.
Yeah, okay. All right, so,
I don't think, it didn't seem like we had a lot of choice. I mean,
yeah.
the letter that
it's-
the chief wrote
Yeah.
was, he was defending themselves, but kind of really, they didn't care.
All right, so I would entertain a motion to authorize the expenditure of $6,600, transfer that to police expense for the payment of this damage to the.
Do you want to add to it up to and see if the insurance will cover any of it?
We can do that, I
Yeah,
can follow up
that's-
with them.
And we can add that to the motion.
Yep.
Yes.
Good idea.
Okay.
I mean, I know we're on the hook for it, which is not a happy thing, but at least if,
Well, it might be worth a shot.
yeah,
Due diligence.
We pay enough for insurance.
Yeah.
Maybe get something back from insurance companies once in a while.
It's been nice.
It's mine either.
not the repeater, it's the
For the radio.
radios, right?
Yeah.
We're all going in the middle.
No, it's probably gonna say, because what's the call?
Oh, it's the tower,
Yes.
that's
Yeah.
right, the tower.
Yep.
Yeah, that's right.
Okay, so we have a motion. Do we have a motion? Anybody want to make?
Make a motion.
Thank you. And the motion is to authorize up to $6,600 to pay for damages to the repeater cabinet we leased from an outlet.
It's mini something,
I don't remember.
mini,
Mini mobile,
Mini mobile,
Yeah.
mobile mini.
mobile mini.
coming on.
Mhm. Okay. Second? Second. All those in favor? Six. Any nays? This.
That's just as bad.
This is yours. You have a block on my repairs.
I think you have it. Yep.
Yep.
Okay, the next one is, I don't know if you're all familiar with the fact that our building inspector, our building commissioner, took another job in the town of West Newbury. Although he had advised us probably 3 years ago that he would be taking it, should it come available, we still kind of had plans that he might not, you know. So prior to, prior to Sam taking on the town of Groveland also, we had a full-time building commissioner. He asked if we would allow him to go to part-time and work both towns. Not unusual, it happens in some of the smaller towns, and when I was in West Newbury, the commissioner there was also the commissioner in Topsfield, so he did both towns and was able to juggle it. Newbury's permitting far exceeds the numbers we saw in either of those two towns. So the proposal is to move back to a full-time building commissioner. It went through the HR board, is aware of the change. The Board of Selectmen are aware of the change. So we're going back to the previous model. It was, I would say, more efficient, it was more effective, again, based on the numbers that we turn out with the 3 areas of Newbury. We thought that was the best approach. We are midway through a hiring process. We had a number of very well qualified candidates applying for the position, and we have made an offer. So we're waiting for acceptance, and then the person will onboard, we'll get them on board.
Okay.
Okay, so this is to
How long was
increase
Sam with Newbury?
Several years.
more than 10 years.
Yeah.
And he was able to do it part-time, what's the new guy gonna do that's gonna be different?
In my opinion, there were a lot of things that fell through the cracks. It wasn't as efficiently managed full-time. It was kind of a trial run. Sam did an amazing job. He did great work. But there were a lot of things that were missing. We didn't have the interaction between the building inspector and the town planner and the conservation agent and, you know, the monthly type meetings and things like that. But I have no doubt, you know, I can shoot you over the numbers, I don't have them off the top of my head, to compare the communities that share versus the numbers that we have. And there were, we've also been made aware of a lot of issues that the current interim inspector is addressing.
Was he ever full-time?
Sam?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, he was full-time, and he asked if he could try
Okay,
the,
that was my recollection.
and
So
I
he
think
was full-time.
he was full-time, yeah.
The
I just think
impact-
it's a much more efficient way to
So the
run that
impact on the
function.
budget and
The-
the impact going forward.
Impact on, but I'm asking for $58,680, and that will be the full impact on the operating budget for a full year's worth of it.
Full year.
That's in addition to the previous salary?
That's correct.
But doesn't that put it back to where it was originally, or close to? where
It
it
gives
was?
us, the idea is to go back to somewhere where it was, but this gives us the ability to negotiate within the range, the classification range that the HR board provided us based on their.
So the candidates, so it was advertised as a full-time position.
It's advertised as a full-time position, classified by HR board as full-time position.
And it's the commissioner.
Building commissioner, yeah.
When did that change from inspector? Or was
It's
it?
been
always-
commissioner since I've been here, so.
Because we always called him the
9 years.
inspector.
That's what, we did that probably because that's what we started doing.
It's one of the big raise, we use commission.
Maybe, I don't know.
Like I said, when most of us saw him, he was out doing inspections.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
The inspector.
I didn't know we had another title other than inspector.
No, they changed about 10 years ago, so.
Questions or?
So the impact here is gonna be somewhere in the, up to around 57,000.
Yeah.
Annual, yeah.
About 6. Change in benefits, or is this the all?
That's the all-in.
Okay,
Is there stipends that go with
And that's
that?
an up to.
Are there stipends that go with that?
There's no stipends, but there's a vehicle allowance. It's $425 a month. as I recall.
use
Unless the town
provide
repurposes
a vehicle.
a vehicle.
And that wouldn't change from what it currently is. Correct.
We currently provide a vehicle allowance, we don't provide a vehicle.
Right,
Yeah.
so that's not.
But the current vehicle allowance is,
I would have to look it up.
Didn't you say 425?
yeah, if I didn't know if.
That's what's
part-time had-
negotiated.
Part-time.
Part-time was, part-time was. $375. Full-time split, 25.
$50, yeah.
So the 58 is not just salary, it's,
It's,
so the impact on the budget, benefits, health insurance, all of that,
well, the other person received health insurance.
part-time. Or did.
If you work 20 hours a week, you're entitled to the
Already
same
worked 20 hours a
benefits.
week for us and them.
Both of us, yeah, that's true, that's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
what I'm getting at is then the cost for the health insurance is already in the budget.
Cost of the health insurance is budgeted out.
So everything is in the 58.
No, it's not in the
Up to.
58. but
It's not in the 58,
It's not
but it's
in-
carried in our budget under the health
It's
insurance.
funded under the health insurance
Oh,
line.
Yeah,
Okay.
And the stipend not including 50.
the vehicle allowance is a separate line item on our operating
That's not part of
budget.
it.
That's not part of it.
Did we vote?
Well, first we have to raise a motion.
Oh,
Sorry. But I've got a motion here to authorize the hiring of a full-time building commissioner at up to $58,680 plus the part-time cost of our current commissioner, replacing our part-time building commissioner.
We're just voting to transfer the money, right?
Correct.
Okay.
Right. That's the transfer up to,
Yeah.
that's in there. And the reason, okay? So I would entertain someone making that motion. Okay, second?
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Next one is for the Selectmen's expense account. We're asking for $2,500. We had a couple of selectmen this year decide to go to the MMA's annual conference. And in the past, they haven't gone. So this will cover that expense, and in addition, we have had a number of public hearings for the Newbury Golf Center. We have to do legal advertising for those, which is also quite expensive, so that $2,500 will cover those costs. And as we go forward in the 2021 operating budget, you're gonna see the selectmen's line item increasing to cover MMA participation in the future.
That's a good thing that we're able to do that. Worthwhile.
So this is a transfer.
Make a motion to accept.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
The tax title and foreclosure account is going to be in the red. We're requesting $7,500 this year. We had reduced it, we used to carry $10,000 in the line item, and we dropped it down to $5,000, and it's been fine, but this year we've got an uptick. So that covers legal costs as well as land court costs as we go through the foreclosure process. That's expensive too, because we have to do all the legal advertising, and then they have to do the title work.
Is that why it's not page full of?
I didn't see
In
that.
the Daily News? Oh, yeah.
Really?
By law, we are allowed to run this, it's similar to
Same as all.
snow and ice, yeah. We can run it in a deficit and then raise it on your recap sheet. But just so everybody knows what's going on, I felt it was more appropriate. We have availability within the reserve fund transfer. It qualifies as extraordinary.
Is this the last transfer tonight?
I've got one more.
Okay. I'm just curious as to what the balance is.
If all of them were approved, our balance would still be $62,770.
Is there any way of recouping some of that money?
We do, we recoup it all, but we have to spend it up front, like when we do go through the foreclosure process, it either gets recovered when they come and redeem the lien, or if we sell it like we did with the public auctions, whoever buys it pays for it.
Yeah.
So, yeah, we do recoup those costs.
Make a motion.
Second.
Okay, so a motion is made and seconded to transfer from the reserve fund $7,500 to the tax title and foreclosure account. Oh, I've got a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
I assume that may not be used, right, Tracy?
Yeah, what?
May not all be used.
Probably not, but based on what we estimated for Cola, the attorneys that do all that work, it'll probably be close, unless people redeem before the final foreclosure.
This
A lot
is
of them
the,
do.
this is the process by which we were able to receive over the last few years, over $1 million in back taxes. I mean, and this is basically what that process
Yeah, this
is,
is,
or smaller.
it's a difficult,
I
you know, sometimes it's a difficult process to go through, but I think it's important that people understand it is a very lengthy process, and the tax collector has the ability to work out payment plans with people. So when it gets to this point, everything's been exhausted. It's been likely years worth of effort to collect it, and they're either unresponsive or they don't, maintain their payment plans or things like that. I mean, nobody's in the business of wanting to take people's houses or land, but majority of them are abandoned too, so a good portion of them.
Doesn't make sense to me.
No.
I don't understand.
And the last one is requesting $5,900. This is for our response clickers. At town meeting,
Oh,
they were
oh my God,
received
those are
very
wonderful.
favorably. I've had nothing but positive commentary. In the fiscal year 2021 operating budget, we'll be including that cost, but we have just done.
Are we buying them or will it still be?
No, we're not gonna buy them because the technology
I know,
changes
okay,
pretty
I
quickly.
assume
So
that.
we thought about it, but it changes fast.
So we just rent them?
So we rent them.
Oh,
Yeah.
And they send someone out
I was gonna say,
every time. Yeah, this includes
but that,
them being there to
That's
participate.
God, thank you.
5,900
$5,900
is for the year.
is for the year,
We contract basically with them to come
Yep.
to the 2 meetings.
the 2 meetings, yeah.
So there's no limit on what?
Is there-
a limit?
Is there,
2
You know,
meetings a year. And that's for 400
is there a
response
penalty if
clickers.
they don't bring enough clickers?
Somehow I don't think that'll ever happen.
I don't think so either, not if you want.
Joe wasn't here when that happened.
Yeah, oh, that was
I
disaster.
was-
it was not,
They didn't have enough clickers and we tried to, it was, I
We had to give
mean,
us back first and
anyway.
okay,
Yeah,
But I think it's
faster
very
than-
good.
That's estimated.
Counting votes.
That's
Oh,
estimated
it's-
450
And it's-
Makes it accurate.
Much more
Yeah, any
accurate.
question?
Much more accurate,
Do it.
I think.
entertain a motion, second.
It's a good thing. I mean, some of those meetings would drag on till like almost midnight because they would have to count and then recount.
Okay, all those in favor, any discussion? All those in favor?
good thing.
Is that expensive or is that cheap or is that?
I don't know.
It's probably
It's
what
going
it is.
rate.
It's a good, it is
Yeah.
what it is. I think they're pretty,
It's
Given
expensive, but I think
it's expensive, but you know what?
I
It's,
agree.
But
I
it's-
think 2 twice a year.
yeah, it is, it's not inexpensive, but.
Couple 30 hours, 2,500 bucks.
It's not cheap.
But it's a lot.
It saves a
faster.
lot
But
of,
the idea.
I'll go for 2,100.
Well, the idea, we used to have, we used to receive multiple complaints that people weren't confident in the numbers
Yeah.
that the
Yeah.
counters were providing.
And I
And
agree
the
with
other side was they felt, a number of people felt they intimidated about voting by hand.
Yeah.
So this removes both of those issues, and if people are more comfortable
Yeah.
voting anonymously.
Think of the Iowa caucus. Think of the Iowa caucuses.
You don't wanna stand
Of
up.
course. Similar, I mean, not really, but it is, I mean.
Okay.
Anyway.
The idea is to promote town meeting and get people, engaged, bring them all out, so.
And get through it as
In a
quickly as
reasonable,
There's a
possible.
reasonable amount of
as
time.
possible, for sure, for sure.
Now, if there was still some type of county government, that would be something that would be really worthwhile.
That would be great. It's funny you bring that up. We have mayors and managers meetings with the Merrimack Valley Planning Commission. And we talk about doing a lot of those regional endeavors like we do with our paving and road salt purchases and things. That may very well, I don't know if a lot of the other communities are doing it, but I can certainly
I
bring
think
that
that
up.
if they saw the benefits of it, especially when you have somebody who can take and go into the computer and change a process to reflect on the board immediately
Yeah,
and bring it up, that,
yeah,
going to your point, you buy them and, you're sharing the cost amongst 4 or 5 other communities that are only using twice a year.
That's true.
Yeah.
It becomes very
Much more
cost
cost effective, yeah.
Technology.
It's like the idea of when we did the road tar machine.
That truck, right?
Yeah,
You know, and then say, okay, now we can lease this or rent this thing out on a daily basis. Cheaper than we used to do. We used to
right.
travel to the middle of the state to get the damn thing.
Right. Take a day to get out there and
Yeah.
back with a
It
truck.
was
It was a long
a portion of the day to get.
Buy that company.
Yeah.
Turning
There's like little kids, you
technologies.
think an app that does the same thing.
Right.
I know.
Oh, yeah, there probably is a business there for smartphones.
I mean, there's an app I use in my class that's essentially the same thing. It's called Kahoot.
Oh, yeah.
You make your own quiz and
Kids.
the kids take out their phones and it's like, okay, you know, who was Scarlett, who was Hester Prynne's husband, and they pick it out.
Put your phone away.
I think also the
Staring
integrity,
into the screen.
the integrity of this being a separate
Yeah, oh no, you can never.
website is, you know, it's contained. It's not, rather than you pulling it out of your trunk. Well, I mean,
Yeah, but
why
it's
gather a
also-
town meeting? We'll sit at home, watch it on television, and don't change it.
There would also be equity issues and accessibility issues.
Yeah, that's right. Anyway, all right.
All right.
So I'm currently, relative to budget, we're currently engaged in meeting with department managers and going through the budget hearing process. We have, I think I mentioned to you before, we've purchased the ClearGov budgeting module.
Yes.
We did have a follow-up training session last week. I think it was last week. And everybody seems to be on board. They fixed a lot of the issues that we identified. They did it relatively quickly, and they did it within a 2-week time span. So we're very happy with their service in respect to addressing all the bugs. There are still a few, we're finding, you know, as you go through it, there are still some issues. But almost everyone has entered their data themselves into this module, which is great. I'm running that, and I'm running the old system, the old Excel spreadsheet system, just
Sort of
to
side by side.
side by side to make sure there are no little issues pop up. So this is just, looking at a typo right there.
And
Still
besides,
2021.
besides buying the software, do you pay for any of the optimization? Or is that included? Or the customization, are you customizing the software at all?
You can customize it. It has a report writer in it that allows you to do the customization
Once you buy the
yourself.
software, you already bought it.
You can, yeah, you bought it and you can customize it yourself, so.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, and they, I think, at the last meeting, we had talked about the checkbook, and I was under the impression you had to buy that separately, but, when we met with them last week, she said that that is included, so that will be available to us as well. So we'll be able to post, you'll be able to go on and look and say, oh, how much did we pay Tracy Blaze? And you'll be able to pull up all the reimbursements, or how much did we pay to Turning Technologies, if I'm gonna buy that company, or whatever.
No, but I think the general public will be happy.
Yeah, they'll be able to see
that,
it just like we have on our check register here, so.
Yeah. No, that's not, I think that's a good thing.
Casey, do you have any sense of what our revenue picture's gonna look like?
Yeah, things aren't looking as rosy as they have in the past. I'm not projecting any big increases. As a matter of fact, I think we're leveling off with our motor vehicle based on the February commitments. Our penalties and interest is going down. I think people understand that you have to pay timely or you're gonna be subject to interest. And fines.
Medical?
As far, medical is trending well, surprisingly so, although they
As an expense, you're talking.
medical premiums.
Oh, premiums, yeah.
Right now, our experience is modest. We're looking at anywhere between, definite single digits. The last I heard, we were estimating around 5%, which is great because we've been in double digits for many years. But it may come in, I've been following the MMA discussions, and it may even come in lower. So if we may be able to see some, I say savings, not savings, but very level funding of that line item, which is great.
I know we're part of the pool,
Yes,
but does our experience reflect also?
yes. having the pool
Yeah.
helps us in the years when we have bad experience,
Yeah.
because it would kill us otherwise.
Who
But-
does GSE?
Maya, Massachusetts Interlocal Insurance Agency.
I thought you were talking about a person.
Yeah, yeah.
I have not understood.
I had to do.
So that's, the expenses are, I'm projecting a 2% increase for wages in most of them. We did renegotiate a collective bargaining agreement for the DPW, which hasn't been finalized, but is in negotiation. So you'll expect to see some changes there. I don't think where the big areas were. Talked about that. IT program services, you'll see that's going up 5,500, that's an 11% increase, that's the response clickers we just talked about. The town clerk's office, Leslie, has notified us of her retirement. So we're working, she and I haven't had our budget hearing yet, we're gonna be talking about it later this week, but we're gonna be working on succession planning for that office as much as we can, where it's an elected position.
Mhm.
So there may be some reorganization there, so that number will likely change once we have our meeting.
I don't know if the selectmen can ever attempted to reconsider that being an appointed position.
Yeah, actually, I've had some conversations with
I mean,
town
we've been
council about
fortunate.
that, we've been very lucky.
But you could elect, anybody could get elected.
Yep,
Right,
Doesn't have
she's
the-
experienced,
Yeah, I know,
yeah, well, that's what we
you
did.
know what I'm saying?
yeah.
That's what happened before, it was the assistant town clerk who would
Yes,
usually
I
seek
know.
election, but that's not gonna happen this
Yeah.
time, so it's hard to do the planning when it's an
Yeah.
elective office. They did consider it, I think, once since I've
Yes, they
been
did,
here.
And I remember,
That
there
was
was
shot down.
yes, there was a because it was along with another position.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it was, but they both,
Is it constables?
I think it was constables.
Constables elected.
so,
Appointed as well, and that was at Leslie's request, actually.
I know.
So we're talking about maybe, considering making it an appointed position, but requiring a town residency. So we're talking about all
Oh,
sorts
it
of
should be.
iterations, so that, the
Yeah.
town clerk position would still be a
I mean,
familiar
it
face.
requires a lot of skills.
Right,
Exactly,
right,
but they have to be trained
Yeah,
as
oh,
a
yeah.
town clerk, they can't just,
oh
they
yeah,
can't step, I couldn't step into it, I would have no idea where to even start.
Oh, yeah.
the reporting requirements on all these functions of government are getting
Yeah.
Intense.
really
So,
intense,
it's-
especially when you're dealing with elections. I mean, and it changes
Oh,
every
Leslie's
year.
been in it for so long. that
Yeah.
it's been-
Yeah,
She did all the training, came along,
Yeah, so ideally we'd like to get a part-time
yeah.
or a full-time person in there to work with her that is a resident, that maybe we could appoint her if they change it, but elect them if they don't change it, something along those lines. It just ties our hands a little bit
Right.
where it's elected.
Yeah.
And you could train her and get her all ready and someone else could run. I know that happened to her at one point in time, so there'll be a lot of discussion about that coming up. Other than that. Fire department salary and wages, we had talked about reviewing, overnight coverage. So Doug and I will be meeting about that, and Wally later this week as well, to finish that one up for our final presentation.
What's the up cost for maintenance on the police station?
Initially, we had predicted around $60,000. I don't know if, I'll have to get in touch with Bob to see if they've got a new estimate, but I know initially we were talking about around 60,000.
Is that reflected in here or not?
No, not yet. We're hoping to have our final work done on our streetlights. We're hoping to save some money there and move that money into. And we're also hoping to save some money on the lease agreements with protection Byfield. I always get mixed up with the precincts, Protection 1 Byfield. There's some savings there.
You know how to remember it? It was formed in 1922.
Yeah.
The zip code is 01922,
Perfect, got it.
associated with the zip code.
Got it. So those will be, these are, what you're seeing now is first draft, estimate conservatively on the high side. These numbers will, as they always do, change significantly between now and town meeting, but as we wrap up the finals.
What is the timeline on the station? Schedule
That's
wise?
done.
They said a year, I said 18 months.
From start to
I
finish.
wanna see it.
It's always longer.
Well, they got a very good year for construction in the winter.
That's true, that is true.
Yeah. Yeah,
They've been able to take advantage.
Oh, yes.
yeah.
So, I mean, I'm just curious.
Estimated 12 months.
You never know.
And we've been putting up building in Stroud. We haven't had to start, we haven't had to do anything special.
Oh, yeah.
8 pages are, that's cool.
Education, Triton has provided us some preliminary numbers, which are looking around the 550,000 increase mark. I have been notified by Whittier that we're down one student, but I don't have any preliminary information, and I don't have anything from North Shore Agricultural and Technical School yet. So those are all, just strictly estimates at this point in time. DPW is reflective of the town's offer to the Teamsters Union, which has not been fully executed to date. Council on Aging expenses going up considerably, that's for cleaning. They used to have the cleaners come in once a month, they said that is absolutely not enough. So they're going to twice a month. And they also have put in a budget to allow for some training, job training for some of the employees, which they haven't participated in the past. I'm a huge advocate for continuing education relative to all of the managers and their positions, and we even, our assistants, like our assistant treasurer collector, our assistant town accountant, we encourage them to pursue their certification. The Commonwealth has a certification program, and we recommend that they all work towards it. Veterans assessment had a small bump. The library's proposal, they're doing some planning as well. The head librarian has notified us that she will be retiring, so we're going to be looking for someone to fill that role. You did approve that $6,000 increase. The expectation is the assistant will ascend to the director's position, and then we'll be looking to fill her job. She, the current director has put a number of reclassification requests before the Human Resources Board. None of them have been enacted yet. So this is what you're seeing here is a worst case scenario. Should they all be enacted and all get approved and move forward? I'm not sure, based on some of the changes in the job descriptions, that they would necessarily warrant a reclassification, but those decisions will be made by the HR boards. I have those in front of them. Retiring some debt. And the health insurance expenses, I bumped them up 3% at this point in time. But that could change between now and as we get closer. And to Jean's point, as far as revenues go, I always look at a 5-year estimate, but that usually trends low. This year, I think my estimate's gonna be closer to those numbers because we're seeing things change a little bit.
How was your 6-month I was,
6 months is okay.
for this past year.
6 months is okay, but see,
Motor vehicle?
we don't get the
Oh, that-
until
that's
February,
right.
so we can't, that's
That's
why
right.
we
Yeah.
have to wait till now to
Yeah.
judge. So once those collections start coming in,
Yeah.
we'll have a better idea. Yeah, they really, ambulance is doing great.
Larry.
I know.
Larry, you know, Larry's gone.
It's
you know.
really, it's.
He moved, yeah.
He moved?
He's in Hamilton.
I didn't know that.
Really?
Yeah, his house is up for sale. Yeah.
Wow.
So, yeah, I mean,
He couldn't pay those high taxes. No, it's just
And you think Hamilton's cheaper?
No, he found that out. It's about, no. Anyway, he lives in their houses, so.
so I'll keep you updated as anything changes. If we see some dramatic increase, I'll let you know. But at this point, I mean, my revenue estimates are conservative low, and my expenditures are
Yeah.
conservative high, as they always are at this point in the process. But
Okay, we can see what falls out in the next
Yep.
month.
yeah,
Alrighty. Any committee reports?
We have not met since last meeting.
No, never either. So. Any other business before us tonight? Any citizens, concerns?
I just came, I was wondering, where we had appropriated the money for a new ambulance in April, if it's gone on order, if they ordered it yet, if it's out to bid, or, I
yep,
know they were, in November, they were waiting to get the money for that hydraulic, stretcher.
Stretcher.
Yeah,
Right.
it's because they wanted incorporated into the new ambulance, I was just wondering how, the whole deal's going, that's all.
it's purchased, it's being lettered as we speak, so we should have it pretty soon.
Oh.
Yep.
With the lift? Or was
I
that?
thought we did a lift. I thought we did.
The lift was fine. I don't know why I thought it wasn't, but.
Well, the first time.
Oh, the first time it wasn't, the second time it was, yeah.
Second time.
Yep, you're right, second time, yep.
$50,000.
Tommy's still shaking his
Why
head.
didn't they have
Yeah.
that when I was in the
The thing should drive itself at $50,000.
Exactly.
Oh, I think they appropriated, I think 42,000.
Yeah,
At the end.
Yeah.
Originally, they had talked about 50 and then
Yeah.
So it was 8,000.
with the cost of, I think the ambulance was 195,000 and then another 42 for the stretcher.
Yeah, and we said no on the,
I wanna say they purchased it through Apcam.
Oh, okay,
if I'm not mistaken.
that's state, right?
This, yeah, state process,
bidding.
yeah. They had one available that met their criteria that someone else, another town had backed out of. Usually we don't get them that quickly.
Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, I was thinking that was converted.
Yeah.
Jim, can we get a copy of your budget where you are now?
I emailed it to you this evening,
Well, thank you.
the information.
that's a draft, you know, Jim. Draft,
Oh, yes,
yeah, you know, until it's,
No,
I know you know.
No, I would expect it to change. The other thing is the town audit, has that been sent over to us yet? It usually comes about this time of year and Eileen usually posts it.
The financial statements, the just in Hingston audit?
Yeah,
Yeah, we're meeting with them, it's on my calendar, I'm not sure when, to finalize the, management letter comments. We provide a response to them. But no, it's not posted, I don't think. I'll check with her, she's got it up there.
I mean, you would expect it in maybe the next few weeks though, and the end of February.
Yeah, we did it, we were very early, usually they don't come out to audit us until February or March, so we're actually ahead of schedule this year.
The unfunded liability that we have, I know I asked that question last year.
You asked it at the annual town meeting, and I hope
Right,
to have an answer for you at this town meeting.
good, now, that's good. In there, I believe it's qualified on rate of return, and I picked that out from last year's audit, where I thought that, I forget what the number was, but in this day and age, the rates of the return are so low, I don't know what the auditors are gonna say in their comments to that, but they usually put in the amount and the rate and their duration, which really is the qualifying factor as to where you get to on that. You may wanna look at this when you're talking to your auditors.
We update our actuarial analysis annually, and then we have a full and complete actuarial analysis every 3 to 5 years. Yeah. Yep. Our requirement now is over $8 million. And that's why I put that article on right at the beginning of every town meeting, just to remind everyone.
And
If we
Triton,
have
and
that.
we have a piece of Triton's, quite
We
frankly.
certainly do.
And Triton's is probably 4 times ours, or 5 times, 10 times ours, or more, right, the unfunded portion.
It would be nice to get ours funded ultimately, and we've been, that was one of the things that the bond rating agency, when we had our presentation, they were impressed with the fact that we were funding it, and that we've been increasing the amount we put in every year.
Do you know how many cities and towns are beginning to address it? It still isn't very many, is it?
No, nope,
No, it's,
It's just sitting out there.
I think there's only 2 or 3,
Pay as you go.
only a few that are fully
It's a
funded.
pay as you go, they say.
lesson
But,
learned from the
you know,
federal government.
Say what?
A lesson learned from the federal
Oh,
government.
well, they don't really care. I mean, it's like tripled in the last 3 years or something. Anyway.
Anything else? Good, okay. Thank you.
You look familiar.
I was here last.
I wasn't though.
Oh.
Oh, he was,
I know Jim.
I live in town.
Yeah,
that's Tony.
Yeah.
okay. We have no communications. We confirmed our next meeting is the 3rd of March, which is the first Tuesday.
Second
That's,
cousin.
that's also election day.
Yeah.
It is also election day, that's right.
Yeah.
John.
Just checking.
We had that discussion earlier
I
this
wrote,
week.
yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
I keep reminding these. Get
Okay,
out and vote.
I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
To adjourn.
So moved.
Yes.
Thank you all.